job in the clerk's office.
I know, right, it was 69%.
Get the jacuzzi daily.
Oh, I'm here to lose
The
it.
mayor's music?
What do you guys, whatever works for you. All right, Charles,
Yes.
Fran,
Yes.
Rusty? Yes. Ron,
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
And yes.
So we have minutes of July 6th, had a couple of changes, Laura and Rusty pointed out, made copies for you guys, and then changed them since then.
I'll motion to approve those minutes as changed.
Has changed?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion on the minutes, everybody good with them? Has changed? All right, Charles?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Rusty? Yes. Ron?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
And yes. We have minutes from a week ago.
Oh, no, I do have those. Did I give you guys copy of the 1 minute meeting we had? Did I give you
I did
guys?
not.
Oh, no.
I might.
It was like 4 minutes, actually.
Yes.
Hang on.
I didn't get any minutes from it.
You want to wait next
Yeah,
time?
we'll do it next time.
Rusty had his hand up.
No, that was to
Oh.
move the, accept those minutes.
Yeah,
We'll
that's-
wait
that's-
until everybody sees
I'll
them.
make sure everybody's got them.
We'll get him around, everybody. There we go. It was only a week ago today. Or no, not even. Thursday.
It was-
You see how we, seems like a week ago, it was only like 4 days.
Calendarly challenged.
Yeah, anyway. Next item is communications. We got a letter from the town of VOO thanking DPW mainly for the tire and scrap take back day they had here. Apparently went very well. And they're happy about that. Good job, Jeff. Thank guys. The only other thing I know we all get this magazine or
Yep.
pile of stuff from NICA. This one looks like it has some pretty good stuff in it about COVID.
Not accurate.
What's that?
Not accurate.
No, I didn't see how to cure it yet.
Have a look with it.
National News tonight said that the Oxford or Cambridge has a potential vaccine that's working as he said.
And they just need to let
Oh,
it
yeah,
run its course and get it over
That's
with.
the
Did I keep going?
I could hear a story at work.
Wear a mask, wash your hands.
I could hear a story at work where two hairdressers got positive COVID.
And the people that they were with didn't get it.
They cut over 100 people's hair between the time they got tested and the next time when they were positive. And not one of those 100 people tested positive. So, yeah.
I better throw some there.
So everybody's wearing masks?
Wear a mask, wash your hands. All that good stuff.
It must work.
Yeah.
Well, if you can't be 6 feet away.
Here today, gone tomorrow.
You want to do? Everybody want to do these?
You don't have to, you don't have to.
So Mayor, move that we accept the minutes of the Thursday, July 16th, 2020 meeting.
I'll second that.
Laura, did you get them yet? Probably not. Okay.
Good.
Read the one motion.
I could read it, yeah.
Yes.
It says, want me to read it, Laura? I don't know what she's doing.
Get this thing.
Take this serious.
Want me to read the minutes to you?
Just one paragraph.
It's only like one line. It says a motion by trustee Fuller, seconded by trustee Pelton, on the recommendation of Police Chief Kennedy, the hiring of Thomas Williams as a part-time. Should be an S. As a part-time police officer for the Village of Vigo Police Department at a rate of $25 per hour, and if a probationary period is required by law or rule, it is to be the minimum required by law or rule. And roll call vote. Trustee Beverly, Fuller, Felton, Player, and Mayor Barrera voted Tommy, but you're on mute.
We set a start date on that for employment.
Yeah.
Let's stay up.
Yeah, it was a meeting.
Next pay period.
And I added an S to his name,
Williams.
Williams, not Williams. But those are the minutes.
Okay, sounds good
They're
to
on
me.
the way.
If you want to go over it, then
Yeah, that might have been longer than the meeting. Charles,
yes.
Brandon,
Understand.
Yes.
Ralph,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
and yes. Correction. All right. Next thing I got is trustee reports. Brandon?
Well, before I give my report, I'd just like to comment on the governor's statement today. He emphatically said it was up to local government and local police departments to enforce the mask requirements and distancing requirements. That, if there are complaints by citizens, the local government and police department to deal with.
Yeah, so by local government, he means county governments. We don't get involved in that. There is a phone number you call, 687-2, something, I'm thinking around. It's on the county COVID page.
Is that connected to the police department?
Connects you to their COVID hotline, which then ends up at the sheriff's department.
The county health department is who does this.
It's a combination between them and the sheriff's department. I know,
Yeah, be careful, because if you look on Facebook, there's a number, but you'll get Jenny.
5675311.
That's it.
That's an old one, oh my God!
You've seen it, right?
it's a 667 number. And I know within Nevada County, there have been fines given out.
No, it's 8675309.
No, not.
Get it right. Okay. Well, my report for the Evergreen Cemetery Committee is on July 18th, we had a work day at the cemetery. It was very productive. We had committee members and community members all together, a crew of 10 people were there, and they cleared out brush and debris from the Hoppers field, and there was hedges trimmed on Pool Avenue, and also maintenance work in the garden around the gazebo. And we had compliments for the work, regular maintenance work that's being done by the DPW. They're doing a great job this year. I want to make sure that the staff knows that. And unfortunately, because of vandalism in the cemetery, we've had to start locking the gate to the cemetery every night. So people that are used to going up there first thing in the morning have to wait until about 9 o'clock to get their vehicles up to the cemetery because of being locked up. Now, on August of 2019, the village board approved $10,000 from the 2018-2019 budget surplus for the repair of the mortuary chapel roof. There was a balance remaining of $700. Now, at the village board meeting on December 16, 2019, it was approved to use a $700 balance for the replacement of Lexan coverings for the stained glass windows. Because of the weather, the preoccupation of the Martha Lyons landscape report and cancellations of meetings from the COVID, the cemetery committee has not yet completed that project. There was a previous estimate from Amazing Glass to do that work. And at this time, they are indefinitely out of stock of the Lexan. But we can purchase that through the big box stores. So what the committee is requesting is that they be allowed to go ahead and purchase that Lexan up to the amount of the $700, which shouldn't be that much. Because we had a bid before from Amazing Glass for $1,200, but that included all their work of taking down the previous, the Lexan covering that is there and cutting and reinstalling. And so what the committee is proposing is that we buy that from one of the big box stores and with the assistance of the Department of Public Works, gradually replace those coverings.
We need a motion for that?
Have you spoken to Jeff about that? Have you spoken, you said with the assistance of Public Works, have you
Tell
spoken
me
to him?
what's going on a little bit, Fran, said,
Hang on, let me turn the thing for Fran.
okay.
All right, Fran, track it.
Okay, well,
Let me just ask a question. Fran, you say that you're proposing that you want to change, change the plan about what's going to happen up at the cemetery with the money that was left over for the mortuary work to repair the windows. It was $700, and you proposed that instead of having Amazing Glass do the work, that the DPW is going to do the work for those protectors. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, the committee had spoke with Mike before, with DPW about cutting those pieces of Lexan to cover the windows. And actually, if they can't do it, there's other committee members that have the ability to go ahead and cut those and install that Lexan. So actually what we're requesting right now is just the money to go ahead and purchase the Lexan to do the work.
Who is performing the work?
What rest?
No, she asked who's not performing the work.
Sounds like it
Remains
needs
to
to
be
be
seen.
DPW or somebody on the committee.
Remains to be seen.
Trustee?
I would make a motion that the $700 remaining, if it's not already allocated, be allocated to the cemetery committee to buy the plexiglass wherever they see fit. It's not saying who's going to put it in, just buy it.
Yeah. That's what we're requesting now, is just to buy them.
Just want to buy the material.
Well, I would second what Rusty said.
If it needs a motion, I thought they were already given that money to
Yeah, it
do
was
that.
back in December of 2016, it was approved that money would go towards that Lexan.
So then you probably already have it. It's just a matter of whether you were going to use it to pay Amazing Glass or to do it some other way. So if you already have the
Correct.
approval to have it go towards that, you don't need my motion. So cemeteries committee money to buy that glass. Unless I got that right? I agree.
Who's on the cemetery committee anymore? I saw that, the last time there was 2 resignations, and before that, in the last 2 months, there were others, I thought. So who?
There were just the 2 in the last month. John Redcliffe is still on there, Andy. Yes. And Barb is, we need to replace members. We're right now in the process of talking with different people to join the committee.
So there's 1 person on the committee?
Sounds like there's
3. There should be 5, there's 2 that,
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't hear.
Yeah, it sounds like there's 3.
she should be here.
And they're max of 5, so we need 2 people.
Okay, and now in a June meeting with Jeff Souls, he told the committee members that there is remaining drainage repair that will be completed this season in the cemetery and repaving of the cemetery roads, utilizing the remaining $76,433 balance in the Evergreen Cemetery CD. That's on the list here. And the cemetery committee is still studying the Martha Lyons report and creating a list of priorities for the projects at Evergreen. Now, as Peter and John told the two, Rusty and Mike, at the tour up there on June 14th, we're especially concerned about two liability hazards for the village. Number one, there's a large number of, there are a number of large dead trees that are eminent hazards for personal and property damage. I mean, one that can be seen quite easily if you go up to the Indian Grove Monument and come down the road, there's a tree there that's kind of, any minute now, a wind is going to block that road. You know, it could hit a car. I mean, it's practically broken in half. And there are other trees further up around the Civil War section that are dead, and a couple others on Pool Avenue that they're just hanging in there. They're totally dead. They need to be taken down because they really are a danger. And the other critical issue that the cemetery committee sees is the guardrail along the entrance road in the cemetery is deteriorating. It's rusted, and there are several sections that are completely absent. And the thing is, if a car should hit guardrail, it would roll down the hill right on East Avenue. And it really is a liability to the village.
Well, like a cliff on the hill.
Yeah, it's. So what the cemetery committee is recommending is that we take the money from the Reserve Evergreen Capital Improvement Fund, which is 5315, which currently is a value of $42,199, and put that towards those projects as of course, we need to get some bids on doing them, but that those two projects are taken care of through that fund.
Is that a fund we want to use?
Yeah, it's not the,
That's
it's not the perpetual care fund, no.
So the other one is, perpetual care is the 76,000.
No, perpetual care is $334,000.
And we only use a percentage of that.
But that's what Jeff wants to use to do the paving? That's a different.
No, there's three funds there.
Okay, just checking, I don't know.
There was originally a fund of $156,000 that was set aside back somewhere in the around 2000 something to go towards match for the grant from the state. The state grant was going to be $250,000. And so we never came up with the extra $150,000. We let that grant go. And so that $150,000 is what was tapped into last year doing the drainage walls of the cemetery. So of that $156,000, there's $76,000 remaining, which will go to complete the other drainage and the paving.
So this other fund that you want to use 46,000 of is a different fund.
Right. Well, it's $42,199. I mean, you know, we don't know the exact amount now that the arborist would charge or what it would cost to install the guardrail, but we're recommending that that fund be used towards those two projects.
We have to make a motion to put out the bid for those projects, or what do we do from here?
No, we just have Jeff give us bids.
What we do is we look at the report. We take the cemetery committee's recommendation, because we asked them to tell us some things that they thought were high priority, and we take that information, we look at that report ourselves and look at the various things and make a decision about what things that we want to do.
I just want to keep the ball rolling, I don't want it to go stagnant.
So, if you're gonna use a reserve fund, you know, like we've run into in the past, you just need to have a resolution authorizing, you know, the dollar amount, and then it's subject to a permissive referendum. And so, if you went out to bid first, we don't have any idea how much it's gonna cost. You might want to get somebody to get you like an estimate, not the bids, but an estimate, and then authorize use of the reserves, and then go out to bid.
We gotta get
So
some
we
estimates
need to
on
get
that
bids
one.
on those two projects.
Jeff, just come off mute.
Yeah.
What do you got, Jeff? I still can't hear you, Jeff.
Smoking a cigar.
I think it's intentional.
I know, it's still not there.
Just freeze my lips.
Come on a second, maybe it's me. Oh, yeah, come on.
Wake up, Jeff.
I can set the headphones. All right, try again, Jeff.
This is fabulous. Can we use this all the time?
Yeah, I know, right? Are you there, Jeff? Oh, yeah, there you go. All right, so everything's working.
First of all, Ron, is that an actual reserve?
It's an actual reserve, but I'm not sure what we have a reserve for, I'd have to look and see if that's for.
Yeah, I might have
It's
to
called
specific
Reserve
purpose.
Evergreen Capital Improvements.
There's a resolution somewhere that says.
We'd have to look into it and see what we'd use it for. I'm familiar with the other two. $300,000 one and $76,000.
Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 lines down on the bank statements.
All right, so step one is figure out if we can use a reserve. Step two would be that Jeff gets some estimates, not bids.
Just to get an idea if you have enough money.
Right.
As far as the chapel goes, we can install the lights now, but we can't cut it. Somebody's gonna have to actually come up and measure all those windows.
Okay.
So everybody's clear on that.
Rusty?
So as I was saying, the process for me is that we've heard that the cemetery committee has some priorities. We asked for we asked Peter Gordon for a list of things, because we said, give us all the things you want to do, maybe in order 10 things, because we may not want to do those same exact things that you want to do. We said, give us another list of things that you don't want to do, you think are too extravagant, too much money, not the good things. That's the way we approach that one. So I would still like us to do something like that, and also look at the report some more, so that the board can decide which of the things they
Yeah.
would prefer to do. So I'm not prepared to.
Actually,
So
we've
you're trying
been
to get
working,
estimates on a bunch of those things to.
Finding out how much some of those things cost is fine.
Right. We
right,
can't prioritize guardrails over
Yeah.
whatever if we don't know how much they all cost.
yeah, no, we've been working on a priority list now, and we'll bring that to next meeting.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna have to survey that area. I mean, you just can't throw some guardrails up on what's crumbling.
There are the guardrails here.
Right.
it's a guardrail, it's there, but it's not.
Guardrails are okay.
don't want to go into great detail on this right now, but there are railroad ties that are used for the holding up of the guardrails that are pretty solid and pretty much in the ground. So there's a lot of possibilities about a way to use that existing thing, maybe with some chains or whatever. There's thoughts about that. We still have to work on that.
Too scared to drive it.
It's not bad.
Okay, so the committee will work with Jeff on getting some estimates. Okay, thank you. And so Rod, you're gonna look into any,
Use for the reason.
yeah. Okay, very
And
good.
I will say that the committee's doing a good job, it's looking nice in there. And
Yeah, they really do.
DPW's doing a good job.
Yeah, she said that yesterday. And so our next work day at Evergreen is Saturday, the 22nd at 9 a.m. to noon.
And I will say those work crews, last time I saw how Laura was at.
Yeah,
That was like a 100-degree day, you guys were up there in a field working, so. it's gonna be good.
Is it the 22nd, is that John, this week or?
Saturday, August 22nd. August 22nd. Is our next one.
What time is it, Fran, 9?
9 to noon. Thank you.
Charles, you got anything?
I would like to say, I think the lifeguards are doing a great job up there at the pool. I haven't heard any complaints about the rules that are in place and people having to go through them. And I haven't seen any negative posts from the usual suspects. So, that's good. I'm happy that we have something available in the village that is an outlet for heat relief. We've been having brutal days in this weather.
Yeah,
Are you back, right?
Yeah,
I assume it's been pretty busy the last couple, the last couple of days, but some people are taking advantage of it. I would hope, anyway.
we keep them occupied. I think Chief Kennedy had mentioned something about locking your cars. Make sure you lock your cars.
Yeah, I noticed that break the doorbell, there's a network down there, and they've been outside the village, but there's been a rash of people breaking in the cars.
Yeah.
I'm busy. Yeah.
Good night, guys.
If you see something, say something. That's all I have to say about that.
I was just thinking, yeah, I was just thinking.
I also was talking to Chief Kennedy about, he was on the thing, maybe assembling some sort of a list of call it virtual neighborhood watch, a list of people that may have cameras around their house that may be willing to,
Oh, yeah.
if something happens, you know what I mean?
Alcohol is good.
Buy a 200-pound dog, yeah, no problem.
Wouldn't mess with your dog either.
They lock your yard, right?
Very big mark.
Rusty? Already done, Joe? Rusty?
Something I'm interested in taking up on the board and with Nate, changes in the charter on section C3 and section C21 about acting police judge turning into associate police judge. There's a number of things that I've looked at that I think would be satisfactory to do on that. Without going into big board detail right now, for some reason we decided under one chapter it's the officers of the village and we want it. All you gotta do there is just change acting to associate. This other chapter is about the acting and it's got about 2/3 of it about compensation for him, which I think we should completely eliminate. As per the suggestion of the judge, almost every associate judge gets paid a flat fee of $2,500 a year to do any and all things. They all accept it. Obviously, if somebody ends up having to do thousands of hours, there'll be some kind of renegotiation on that, say the regular judges. So I think we should eliminate most of the part under acting police judge and change any time that it says acting to associate. There is one, there is one glitch in here that doesn't make any sense. All the village officers are appointed by the village board. It says, including the acting police judge and the standard officers, then it says in the beginning of this part about acting police judge that it will be appointed by the mayor, so we need to make that consistent probably, since every single officer is appointed by the board, it should be appointed by the board. So, I don't know, I can write this up, or Nate can do something, or I'll do something with Nate, or,
I mean, if you've got edits already,
well,
you know, pass them down.
I'd have to,
Yeah.
you know how I write things, I'd have to tell you.
Believe me, I'm happy for you to take a first stab at it.
Okay,
Because it's just,
it's just
it's
getting,
easier to understand what exactly you're talking about, seeing your actual.
and so we'll just have to make a public hearing about changing the charter as soon as this is,
Well, maybe we have to.
but I'd like to do this soon, maybe next meeting.
Put your notes to me.
Yeah, I don't think we can have the public hearing at the next meeting.
No, I meant to have the.
Oh, have the draft.
Have the thing ready to go, yeah, that's it.
Huh?
I got a call today from Corey Reed from BCA, and they're asking that we bring the Amendment 6 before the board again. He had given me some numbers, I forwarded the email to you and Tracy.
Yes,
They've agreed to credit us $200 for the lodging for the past 12 to 18 months, however long Glenn has been in residence. Which is nice, it's about $3,600 out of 87,000.
yeah.
200 a day or just 200?
200 a month. Right. He has agreed to submit receipts for food as he had no per diem in the contract. Which, might not. But per the contract, expenses plus, I see 10% of mine, he's telling me 12.5, and that's something I need to discuss with the lawyer or the attorney, whichever you.
Just call me Nate.
But travel was my biggest one because on the contract I have, it says standard hourly rates for each billing will be for services performed on the project. And I fail to see how I'm driving home for 5 hours as part of my project.
Yeah, I agree.
And it is not written in here, it just says we will pay mileage at the acceptable IRS rates.
Right.
So we're still in negotiations over that, so I am not ready to ask you to sign Amendment 6. This is where I'm currently at, and I told him that today that it's very unlikely that they're running into the issue that they have no funds to draw from to pay until we sign this. But those are things I discussed today to see where we're at with the travel. I mean, I'm even speculative of whether we should pay him to come to the job. It still has nothing to do with my project. I didn't ask you to go home every weekend for a year and a half. That is personal business in my opinion.
Or a hiring guy for 5 hours a day.
I mean, all it says in the contract, we will pay travel expenses. He hops on a plane, we pay here. That's what this contract agrees. You hop in the car, we pay for the gas. You don't pay your hourly rate. And I further discussed that I fail to see how the $95 is a very specialized cost. Why that is still the cost for him to drive a car home.
Right.
And he responded with, well, we didn't raise the rate to 105 as we have in other contracts. And I responded back with, you had January to do that, you did not do so, so you cannot raise the rate to 105. So that is not void, at least the way that I read this. So the big chunk of change is going to come from this travel expense.
Right.
I mean, we played with some numbers and all the way back, it's about $72,000. About $950 a week. Yeah, times 70 some weeks, I imagine. So, I mean, I wish I would have been a little more scrutinistic of this throughout the process,
Yeah.
but that is where we're at. And I would move that we do not do anything with this at this time, but for my word, I presented it to the board.
I would agree.
Yeah,
After
plus
60
it
emails.
says time travel.
And we're talking, we would limit the 87,000 to about 20,000, which is a lot more.
Yeah, that's,
But they still failed to give me an acceptable answer for why they didn't bid for the extra 4 months for his pay. So I have a lot of questions and not a lot of answers.
Right.
If I can, one thing they did propose is that he travel in on Monday morning and travel back out Friday to save costs. But yet again, then we're still paying for his travel,
That
which
negates
is
the
not
cost.
in the contract that we have, so. That's
That's
one, it's one thing they're proposing to us to cut some costs. So instead of billing us 50 hours a week, they'll bill us 40, but they're taking that 10 hours off of the true inspection of the job, which is what we're supposed to be paying him to do.
Right.
So,
They did say that he is hopeful that the project will be done ahead of time per some of Lobar's conversation, but who knows what the future holds.
Yeah.
And I'd be very curious to get some of your input in at a time on this travel expense.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
I mean, the apartment is being paid for by the month, right? So I mean, the lodging is usually paid for up front.
Right, but they were billing us $1,000 a month, which is not the cost.
Yeah.
If we will pay cost plus 10% or 12.5, depending which contract we decide is valid. So I'm imagining, just going to the village, you couldn't be paying more than $600 a month for an apartment for one person. I don't imagine he rented a 4-bedroom house for himself. If he did, I have other questions. I mean, but he seems like a very nice guy, and I don't think he's out to take advantage of this, but that's where it is. And UCA told me that they have an agreement with him for per diem and different rates, but that is not what's in the contract, so.
Do you actually know where he's lodging at?
I'm sorry?
Do you actually know where he's lodging at?
We do, yes.
Anything else?
No, that's all I got.
All you got. Laura?